right. All right. Shalom, shalom. I'd like to start off by saying, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, 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 and Thawada to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, for having mercy and compassion on us brothers, for opening up our minds to this truth. All right. And shalom, peace and blessings to all you brothers out there, and double honors to the elders at Great Millstone who taught us this beloved word. All right. Now I was watching this lesson put up by the elder apostle Tahar. All right. You see 444 right there. Call halal Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. All right. But anyways, we all need mercy. But anyways, I wanted to go into, just some of these slavery scriptures, all right, because these nations are going into slavery, all right. If you're not of the seed of Jacob, you are going into slavery, all right. Now, the good news is if you really understand this truth and it really resonates with your spirit, it's because you're Israelite, so you really don't have anything to worry about, all right. You get a precept to that, all right. The understanding of these scriptures is really only given to Israelites, specifically the hopeful elect, all right. Psalms 147:19, he showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. He hath not dealt so with any nation, and as for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye the Lord, all right? So this true 100% understanding is only given to Hebrew Israelites, all right? So you don't got to worry about that, really, But these heathens, these dirty-ass heathens, they're going into slavery, all right? 2 Thessalonians 1:6, seeing it is a righteous thing with the Most High to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you. To recompense tribulation to them that trouble you, all right? So it's righteous with the Heavenly Father that we, get our lick back, so to speak, all right? Like Jake would say, all right? They did horrible things to our people, all right? Specifically these goddamn Edomites, all right? These self-proclaimed white people, all right? They did us horrible. They did our people horrible. And we just got to go along with the program and act like nothing happened, and just be part of their Babylonian system and, act like all that shit never happened. I mean, that's crazy as hell, all right? So we're gonna have them in hardcore slavery, all right? Let's get a precept, all right? And I got a list written in my Bible, all right, that I'm gonna go through this list of slavery scriptures that I have written here, all right? And this is not all of them, all right? This is just a handful that I had written down that I, wanted to bring out, hopefully to edify you brothers out there that are sincere, This is Revelations 13:9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword, Salakia, must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints, okay? So, who are the saints? Let's get a precept, all right? King David said, through thy precepts I get understanding, all right? Psalms 148:14. He also exalteth the horn of his people, the praise of all his saints, speaking about the Most High, even of the children or the sons of Israel, a people near unto him, praise ye Yahweh, all right? Bahashim Yahweh Shai, all right? So the people or the saints of the Most High are the Israelites, okay? So if we jump back to Revelation 13:16, all right, the patience and the faith of the saints goes into these people who led our people into captivity. They're going into captivity underneath us, all right? They killed us with the sword. We're going to kill them with the sword, all right? Let's get Jeremiah and execute Salakia. Let me get a precept for that in Psalms, all right? Psalms 149:1, it says, praise ye the Lord, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Sing unto the Lord, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, a new song. And that's that new song spoken of in Revelation, all right, and elsewhere in the Psalms, all right. This is that knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, all right, the 100% truth, all right, which has not been in the earth for that long. It came on the scene with the beloved elder Abba Bivens, who's back in the spiritual realm now, all right. Which, if you can receive it, he was Elijah the prophet, and John the Baptist, and other great men of the Lord coming back in the reincarnation, all right? The spirit of the prophets is subject unto the prophets, all right? Anyways, that's a whole different topic. But, yeah, praise ye, Salakia, Psalms 149:1. Praise ye the Lord, sing unto the Lord, Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai, a new song, that's this truth, and his praise in the congregation of saints. Saints are the Israelites, all right? The Most High doesn't care about these other nations, all right? Let Israel rejoice in him that made him. Let the children of Zion be joyful in their king. Let them praise his name in the dance. Let them sing praises unto him with the timbrel and harp. For the Lord, Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai, taketh pleasure in his people. Who are his people? The Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, all right? And those who, may not look like that, but their line and their spirit goes back to that, all right? He will beautify the meek with salvation, all right? The elect will be saved, all right? Let the saints be joyful in glory. The Israelites, beginning with the elect, are going to be joyful in glory in the kingdom, all right? Let them sing aloud upon their beds. Now, are we actually going to be standing on our beds in the kingdom singing? I mean, we could, nothing wrong with that. You could do that, but the bed there is going into rest. We're finally going to be at rest, all right? As it is written in Micah 2:10, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, all right? Because it is polluted, it will destroy you with the sword destruction, okay? So this place is not our rest. Our rest is in the world to come, all right? Where you're not going to, in the world to come, you're not going to have to worry about your woman cheating on you, committing fucking adultery, and then you just have to, give her half of your stuff? Are you out of your mind? You're going to have all different types of women, all going to be virgins, all going to be yours. The Israelite women are going to be in perfect order because they're going to be in new bodies, all right, immortal, just like us. We're going to be immortal in new bodies, us Hebrew Israelite men, all right? Everything's going to be in order, and we're not going to want or lack anything, all right? So that's when we're going to be at rest, and call halal Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai, for promising that unto our people, all right? Anyways, back in Psalms 149:6, let the high praises of the Most High be in their mouth, and a two-edged sword in their hand, all right? Excuse me, fucking voice crack, Slakia. A two-edged sword in their hand. Why? To execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishments upon the people, all right? So we're going to have a literal two-edged sword in our hands to do what? To execute vengeance upon the heathen. Who are the heathen? Non-Israelites, okay? Edomites, Moabites, Japhites, the Hamites, so the so-called white people, the so-called Africans, the so-called Chinese, these gooks, all right? These dot heads, these fucking dirty Arabs, all right? All of them. And you do have Israelites scattered among them that look like them. We're not talking about them, all right? You see, because that's going to be sorted out in the kingdom, all right? Everybody's going to know what nation they come from, all right? Anyways, to execute vengeance upon the heathen. Yeah, so we're going to get revenge for what they've done to us, all right? Psalms, the 83rd chapter, goes into, how they're all confederate against our people, all right? They all benefit off of our downfall, okay? To bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron. And the first people we're going to do that to, the elect, the 144,000, all right, is going to put these top wicked elite of Esau, Edom, straight into captivity, all right? The first fruits of slavery is going to be these Rothschilds, these Rockefellers, all right? All of them, all right? To execute upon them the judgment written. This honor have all his saints, all right? His saints, his Israelites, all right? Praise ye the Lord, Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai, right? So we're going to have a two-edged sword in our hand to execute vengeance upon the heathen. We're going to bind their kings with nobles and their chains with fetters of iron, all right? We're going to put them in hardcore slavery, all right? And we're going to whoop their ass too. It's not going to be some kind of a fair shake, all right? We're going to really whoop these people's asses, all right? Jeremiah 30:16, therefore all they that devour thee shall be devoured, speaking to the Israelites, and all thine adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity. And they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. Beautiful. So they're all going to go into slavery. These Moabites, which are the so-called Chinese, Ammonites, the so-called Japanese, Japhites, the so-called Polynesians, Pacific Islanders, all right? These so-called Africans, which are Hamites, all right? These all these other nations, all right? These so-called white people, of course, these goddamn Edomite devils, they're gonna get it the worst, all right? So yeah, all of them, all right? Let's get Salaki, let's get Isaiah 14. And verse 1, it says, "For the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob." All right? And that strangers right there is speaking about Israelite foreigners. All right? The Israelites are going to be joined to, back to the fold. All right? Verse 2, "And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai for servants and handmaids." All right? And if you have a woman who is your slave, you can just take her. She can just be your concubine, "And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors." All right? Now that's speaking about the other nations. All right? That second verse, okay? So these people are going into slavery, man. All right? Let's get Psalms 2. And these are not all the slavery scriptures that's in the Bible. All right? There's more scriptures. All right? Psalms 2 and 8. "Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession. Thou shalt break them with a rod of iron. Thou shalt dash them in pieces like a potter's vessel." All right? So the Most High, or Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, is going to give the Israelites, all right, the heathen for our possession. All right? They're going to be a possession, slaves. All right? And when Yahushai comes back, he's coming back to get his slaves. All right? He's coming back to gather his elect. He's coming back to, bring death and destruction to the wicked of our people, as well as these other nations. All right? As it is written in Isaiah 66 and 15. All right? "The slain of the Lord shall be many." All right? And then he's also coming to gather his slaves, these other nations, specifically these Edomite devils. All right? "Thou shalt break them with a rod of iron." Yeah, that's literal, not metaphorical. All right? We're going to literally whoop their asses with, rods of iron, whooping sticks. All right? And if they do something crazy, like they say you have, because Esau is just a natural born mow. All right? So if you got Edomite slaves and they start mowing out, then heads are going to fly. All right? Then that two-edged sword is coming out. All right? Because the heathen are going to be forced to learn righteousness. All right? They're going to have righteousness enforced on them. All right? Now Esau, after the 1,000-year period where all these nations are in captivity, pursuing to Obadiah 1 and 18, he's just going to get destroyed. All right? All the Edomites are going to get rounded up and burned with fire. All right? That's pursuing to Obadiah 1 and 18. All right? We're going to enforce righteousness on them, and we're going to do it with an iron fist. All right? We're not going to sit down and have chit chats with them. All right? This is Isaiah 24 and 21. It says, "And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai shall punish the host of the high ones that are on high, and the kings of the earth upon the earth." Now, who are the high ones that are on high and the kings of the earth upon the earth? Let's talk about the top wicked elite of Esau, Edom. All right? These top banking families, these Rockefellers, Rothschilds, DuPonts, Gettys, all the top wicked elite of Esau. All right? Because they run the world. All right? They're on high. They're the kings of the earth. All right? "And they shall be gathered together as prisoners are gathered in the pit." So we're going to round them up and put them in slavery. All right? Hardcore slavery. We're going to whoop their asses. All right? "And shall be shut up in the prison, and after many days shall they be visited." All right? So we're going to put them in hardcore slavery. All right? Like it said in Psalms 149. All right? We're going to have their kings in chains. All right? And their nobles in fetters of iron. All right? So, I just wanted to bring out certain of those scriptures. I was kind of all over the place. Please forgive me. I hope, that, the point was made. We're going to have these heathens in slavery. All right? They're going to be in subjection unto us. They're going to be our property. All right? And then after the 1,000-year period, they're going to be let go and given their own land, but they're still going to be tributaries. Tributaries. All right? Vassal states underneath us. All right? So with that being said, I want to say all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh B'Hashem, Yahweh Shai B'Hashem, Rakah HaKwadash. Double honors to the elders at Great Millstone, who taught me this word of life. And shalom, peace and blessings to you brothers and sisters out there. All right, shalom.